she? Who the fuck is she? That ain't your motherfucking homegirl. Who the fuck is she? This what the fuck you do? I had to fucking call on you? This is what you do? Take off my motherfucking shoes. Take off my shoes. I bought them bitches for your birthday. Take them off. Take off the socks too. Take off the fucking socks. Take them off. I want those. Take them off. Take them off. Yup. Take them off. Thank you. Take them off. Take them off, nigga. This what the fuck you do? You's a nasty nigga. You's a nasty nigga. You a nasty nigga. Shit, dirty bitch, man. Some dirty shit, man. I'm here bringing up my food. You okay? I'm okay.
Alright, want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadesh, double honors to the apostles and the others, a great millstone that taught me this truth. Alright, wanted to do a quick lesson on is cheating biblical? Is cheating biblical? It starts with the definition of cheating. Act dishonorably or unfairly in order to gain an advantage. Alright, so being dishonest or unfairly aligned. Alright, biblical relating to or contained to and about. Now we all know it ain't right to cheat people or to deal deceitfully with them dishonestly. So by that is wrong. But when it comes to relationship, you know, what we consider cheating in a relationship, you know, is that biblical. Alright. Now, first, so let's just start with Exodus, the 21st chapter. I think I'm gonna read verses 10 and 11. Alright, if he take to him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage should not be diminished. Alright, and if he does not these things unto her, then she should go out free without money. Alright, so that was saying that, you know, if the man does not continue to take care of one wife when he gets another, then you know that she can leave. Alright, but that is the yes, that is the deal. So it says if he takes another wife, so that means a man can take another wife, right? Or two, or three, or four. A man is allowed to have as many wives as he can take care of. Because, you know, also in this verse, you know, it say her food, her raiment, her clothes, place to stay, her duty of marriage. Duty of marriage, that means sexual relations, should not diminish, right? So you gotta take care of the wife you got, and you can't take nothing away from her to give to another wife, but you are allowed to have another wife. Alright, and let's just go to not read this whole thing, but Matthew, the 25th chapter. Alright. This is the words of Yahweh Shah. Then the kingdom of heaven should be like unto him 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. Alright. So he's saying, you know, he was using the parable of 10 virgins going to marry a bridegroom. And if Yahweh Shah used it for an example, that means it's not conversing, there ain't nothing wrong with it. Alright? Because, you know, it is it. And then if you go over to Proverbs chapter 8, verse 8, it says, all the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. So if Yahweh used it, it was some in righteousness, alright? Because that was Proverbs chapter 8, verse 8, alright? It's because Yahweh doesn't do anything that is not in righteousness, alright? So just by the fact that he used a parable like that means, that a man is allowed more than one wife. Alright? Now, what is not allowed is fornication, which is an unlawful sex act, and adultery, which is when a married woman sleeps with another man. Alright? Them things you can't do. Alright? So, let's see. Alright, this is 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, verses 3. For this is the will of Yahweh, even your sanctuary, that he should abstain from fornication, that every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in a sanctified and honor. Alright, so the Lord wants you to abstain from unlawful sex acts, like things like a man being with a man, anal sex, anything that is considered unlawful. The Lord wants you to abstain from it. Alright? Alright? And just I think some more examples good to of things that the Lord says unlawful. Leviticus, alright, Leviticus 18, and if you start at the sixth verse, I believe. Alright, none of you should approve to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. So, sleeping with a relative is an unlawful sex act. And, if you go on down, it tell you like sleeping with animals and things of that nature. All these are unlawful sex acts, alright? And you're not allowed to do it. Now, we go back to Matthew. Alright, Matthew 19, verse 9. Okay, and this is Yahweh speaking. And I say unto you, whoever shall put away his wives, except if it be for fornication, and shall marry another, commits adultery, in whose marriage her which is put away does commit adultery. So pretty much the only thing you can put away your wife for is unlawful sex act or committing adultery. Alright? And it says a man puts away his wife for it. It didn't say that a woman puts away her man for it. Alright? That's not in the scriptures. That's not how it is meant. Alright? And then we go back into the law, into Leviticus, the 20th and 10th chapter, 10th verse, the 20th and 10th verse. And that the man that commits adultery with another man's wife, even he that commits adultery in his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and adulteress should surely be put to death. So the judgment for, a man sleeping with a married woman or a married woman sleeping with another man was for both of them to be put to death. Alright? It didn't say nothing about a man if he sleep with somebody who's not married to anybody or anything else for him to be put away. It says if the man sleeps with a woman that's already married, that is what, is cheating, going against the Bible. You sleeping with a married woman. The judgment for that is death. Alright? But according to the scriptures, a man is allowed to have more than one woman. Alright? That was never taught in the scriptures. So why was this thing that a man is only allowed one woman, why was it taught and why was it brought up? Alright, so let's go to, let me start with, I think it's the first one I want to see. Hosea 1:10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. It shall come to pass that in the place where it was said that ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living Yahweh. Alright? So this is one of the things to cut down on numbers. So, and the way people populate, because Esau think the world is overpopulated, that one of his ways of cutting down was that a man can only have one wife. That way, you can't produce as many people. And then they already don't want Israel producing, so it makes sense, because it was the complete opposite during the times of slavery. In slavery, they was breeding the biggest, strongest man, and he was impregnating about 10 to 15 women a year, something like that, because they were selling babies. Alright, but that is what they don't want. Population control, because there's more women in this world than there is men. But if a man only has one woman, he cuts down on the population. Alright, this is Ezekiel 37, verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came into them, and they lived, and stood upon their feet, and exceeding a great army. So, the more people you got, the more Israelites is going to be waking, the greater the number. That's how you increase the numbers. That's how another one should become a strong nation. It's going to take multiple wives. And let's see, this is Exodus this is Exodus chapter This is Exodus chapter 1 verse 7. Alright, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed extremely mighty in the land which was filled with them. So it's just letting you know that you multiply more when a man has multiple wives, and that's one of the reasons they was trying to put that practice off. And then another thing that happens, go 1 Corinthians 7 chapter 9 verse. Alright, it says, but if a man cannot contain, let him marry, for it's better to marry than to burn. And see, the only reason men think about sex so much in America is because you are deprived of it. Alright, see, the way things are supposed to be put up, a man wouldn't never think about sex, if he wasn't deprived of it in America. Alright, but the way it's supposed to be, you supposed to have what they say, have enough women to where you never have to go without sex. A woman is taking out a commission once a month, so you supposed to, really, every man should have at least 2 women, but it's just how this kingdom is set up on this side to make people think that is wrong. Alright, but now, none of that is the biggest reason for the whole cheating thing. Alright, this is the biggest reason why they wanted one man to have one woman. The biggest reason is to make women equal to or greater than a man. That's the main reason they invented cheating. Alright? They wanted to make the woman equal to or greater than the man. Alright? So now, let's go to 1 Corinthians and let's go over to 11th chapter, 3rd verse. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahushua, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahushua is Yahweh. Alright, so that just show you how the ranking structure is. Yahweh is the head, and Yahushua is the head angel. Alright, now Yahushua is the top angel, the main angels, but Yahweh has more angels. Alright, and then the head of every man is Yahushua. You know, we just read the children of Israel be like the sins of the sea. So, you know, it's thousands of us that came back to this truth and accepting Yahushua, and it's going to come back to him, alright? And Yahushua is our head, alright? And the head of the woman is the man. So, if you try to equal it out, and you know, one man, one woman, that gives the woman more power, and that puts the woman and the man on a more level playing field, when the man is supposed to be above the woman, which that is not the way it's meant to be. Because it tells us in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, the 20th verse. Alright. And Adam gave names to all the cattle and the fowls of the air, and to every beast of the field, but Adam was not found and help meet for him. Alright? So Adam didn't have a help meet. So that's why the woman was invented, was to help the man. Alright? And you know, as it says in well, let's see, I think it's 1 Timothy. Let me get this. Alright, 1 Timothy. The 2nd chapter. The 13th verse. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being in transgression was deceived, right? Notwithstanding, alright? So Adam was first formed, then Eve, alright? And then you go to the 12th verse, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to exert authority over the man, but to be in silence, alright? So pretty much, the man is supposed to be the head over the woman, right? That is what the Lord considers holy, that the woman follows the lead. And it tells us that in Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, 12th verse. Alright. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. So it's letting you know, whenever a woman leads a man, it's going to cause that man to make mistakes, alright? And that's not the way it's supposed to be, alright? So a woman is never supposed to be in a leadership role over a man, alright? Alright, and it says Jeremiah 22nd chapter, How long would thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord has created a new thing in the earth. A woman should compass a man. Alright, so Jeremiah the 31st chapter, 22nd verse. Alright, and it said a woman should compass a man was the new thing, and that was a bad thing, because like we just read in Isaiah, when a woman leads, it's going to cause you to err. And that was what the serpent promised Eve in the garden. Alright, so that was how we got there when we say the serpent begot Eve. You know. Alright, this is Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and I'm just going to start at the top. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh had made, and he said unto the woman, Yahweh said, we should not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we might eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh had said, we should not eat of it, neither should we touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye should not surely die. For Yahweh does knows that in that day ye eat, then your eyes should be open, and you should be as a God, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasing to her eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. And she took the fruit, and did eat, and gave also her husband with her, and he did eat too. And we all know this fruit is the philosophies of the world, the knowledge of good and evil, which, you know, at this time, the only thing that Adam and Eve knew was good, right? And the serpent, which was a man, tricked Eve into learning false philosophies and going the wrong way. And it's the exact same thing that's happening nowadays that Esau is doing to Eve right now, you know, confusing her, making her think that the wrong choice is the right choice. And that is why you're not supposed to follow a woman, and that is why they invented this concept of cheating. It helps elevates the woman over the man, one woman being with one man, because that's not the way the Lord set it up. The Lord set it up that it's a man's choice how many women he gonna have, and it's a man's choice, you know. He can have one wife, he can be a unit and have no wives, or he can have 4, 5. It is that man's choice. Now, being that said, it's not expedient or smart to be building up wives in Babylon the Great, because we know what's about to happen in America. Alright? So right now is not the time, you know, to be trying to stack wives, you know. If you got one, you should just be happy with the one you got, alright? And you know, you'll get your multiple wives on the other side in the kingdom, okay? But is cheating biblical? And the answer was yes and nay, alright? A man can't cheat. A man is allowed to have multiple women. As long as a man don't sleep with a woman that belongs to another man, a man is good, according to the Bible. Now, a woman is only allowed to have one sexual partner in her lifetime. You know, the first man she sleeps with is her husband, and any man after that, she commits adultery. The only way a woman is supposed to have another sexual partner is if the first man died. Then she might marry again. And the reason for that is because women, you know, contain DNA. Alright? You know, it's a study was done that every man that sleeps with a woman leaves his DNA in that woman for her lifetime. So once a woman build up has a bunch of build up and a bunch of men in her, she has a lot of DNA left behind in her. Alright, which is not a good thing. So that is why the laws are so different for men and women. A man parts are external, and a woman parts are internal. You know, her parts are on the inside, and a man parts on the outside. So that is why a man can have multiples, and a woman is only supposed to deal with one. Alright? And I guess with it, I'm gonna say Shalom.